What's up YouTube? Capital G here, DN Duel commentary. We just had a duel with Master of Eyes in his crazy spirit deck, and now it looks like he's playing against Jordanator, who is, even though he summoned Trap Tricks Murmilio, I believe he's playing Worms. We gotta get this one, guys. We gotta record this shit. Worms versus Spirits. Again, we have two players with almost 1,600 ratings, so I mean, anytime I get crazy decks like that, I'm gonna record it. Jordanator at the top, 1634. Master of Eyes, who we just saw at the bottom, 1586. I almost doing that bad Drake joke, but I think it's pretty much ran its course, right? All right, so we see a set plus two monsters in the back row for Master of Oz. It looks like he summoned Aratama, who I now know is a Stratos, and it's when it's flip summon as well. Jordanator says you got it. So Master of Oz is probably going to go for, okay, he goes for Nikitama. Now he's in kind of dangerous waters here because he knows that Jordanator has the bottomless, so I mean, maybe he tries to avoid that. I mean, I guess you could go on the My Stroke or something. You know, this guy's dark, this guy's light. You know what? I wonder if he plays BLS because of that. Anyways, he summons the Nikitama that he just got from Aratama. And I don't think Nikitama, yeah, Nikitama just gets you more normal summons. So I don't know if he's going to use that considering his opponent has bottomless. I mean, he could decide to rank 4. You know what? If I was playing this Spirit deck, considering that it's so rank 4 heavy, I think I'd be playing Wiretaps. Okay, so he does activate Yashka's effect. Yashka has beast-ass stats. Does anybody else notice that? Yashka 1900, and he can bounce cards. Like, that's really legit for Spirits. Like, I mean, I can only imagine if, like, all these guys would have been, like, 18 to 1900, like, how much more real the deck could have been, potentially, because everything would have been a beat stick, essentially. Okay, so Yashka gets summoned, and he targets one of Jordanator's back rows. Unfortunately, he's hit with Torrential Tribute, and that's no good. That's why I say, you know, maybe think about Wiretap. And the board is completely cleared. Now, the thing is, that was a 3-for-3 for both players. You know, Master of Oz lost 3 monsters, Jordanator lost 2 monsters, and his Torrential Wormcat Taros was the card that he lost. That was the set card. And real talk, I used to run Worms for quite a bit. The problem with Worms is I didn't think they had enough monster removal, but they're super fun to play. You see that Jordanator sets a card, and Master of Oz copies the play. Again, advantage is pretty much even. I mean, Jordanator's +1 right now, but then on Master of Oz turns, he counterbalances it. So, I mean, advantage is practically even. So, right now we've got a fairly even duel, and it's going to be interesting to see who can make that big push. Now, you could see Jordanator potentially wait for, or you could see Jordanator wait for an Exceed play, because I know it's Worm XYX, or maybe it's Zex or something like that. He's the one that bounce cards back to the hand. That card, this guy right here. No, Yagen, I'm launching him. Yagen is the guy. All right, so you see that Jordan flip summons Firehand, then he normal summons Yagen. Yex is the guy that, he's the 1800 guy. I'm launching. It's been a little while since I played Worms, but I know about the big 3. He tries the Max C, and Jordanator just passes, and then he plays his own Firehand. Okay, shit's gonna get a little interesting. And I imagine he's gonna ram into his Firehand. Master of Oz's Firehand will trigger. Jordanator's Firehand will not. And yeah, he ends up blowing up Yagen, and then he gets an Ice Hand. So hands are totally, they just go in everything, I guess. Whether it's Spirits or Worms or just whatever. I think these could end up being $20 cards. Like, I think they're gonna be a $120 engine when it's all said and done. Like, as soon as the Duelist pack goes out of print. All right, so Jordanator says, I'm going for all 4. I'm going for the Juggler. He rips his Soul Charge, and I think he has Yagen. He has a Fire Hand, and Master of Oz counters with the Transmigration Prophecy. Why is this card still limited, Konami? Just answer me that one question. Anyways, back to the duel. All right, so Jordanator is, I mean, he's going to have 2 of his cards go back to his deck. I think the question is, what cards? So he gets Murmilio. Okay, that one was obvious because Murmilio would have blew up a back row. And Yagen, and I think that one was obvious too because Yagen lets you special summon shit. No, wait, Yagen is the one where if you have a worm on field, you can special summon it to defense mode, and then after it dies, it gets banished, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, and it's the one that bounces cards to hand. So essentially what you really want to do with it is, I mean, exceed with it, or you just want to, yeah, and then after that you want to use its effect. Now it looks like he's going into a rank 4 exceed, and it falls in the bottomless. He went for Tsukiyumi, and he wiretapped the bottomless. I thought he was gonna go for the guy that gets I thought he was gonna go for Reptile King guy. Alright, so Jordanator activates Tsukiyumi. That's right, all worms are light. They're an entire light art type. He gets rid of his fire hand for 2 more cards. I love you, Tsukiyumi, but I never do special summon you in Bujins. Like you're way better in other decks. You're just not that good in Bujins. Master of Eyes decides he's going to set a monster, or excuse me, set a spell or trap. It's breakthrough skill, which gets MST'd in the back row, or in the end phase. And play goes back to Jordanator, who summons Zex. That's the guy. Okay, so yeah, Zex, God, what is his effect? Okay, right, he dumps, and then Yagen is special summoned from the, what's it called? Yagen special summons itself face down, as long as you have a worm. And I think you can like only control one Yagen. Again, I'm probably butchering some of these effects. It's been like literally 2.5 years since I've played Worm, so you gotta accept that. Alright, so Tsukiyumi activated a second time, and now he's going to activate Jordanator, or Jordanator's not going to activate anything. He's going to go into an Exceed. Wait, I think that's it. Is it? I don't think it's you have to control a worm. I think it's you have to only control worms or something like that. Anyways, Master of Eyes uses Torrential on the normal, on the special summon of Abyss Dweller, and he gets wiretapped again. Holy, dude, he has to get sick of getting wiretapped by now. That's 2 times he's had power traps just, I mean, blown up by wiretap. And right now, wiretap's kind of putting in some serious work. I think if you're running anti-meta, wiretap's a really good call. So anyways, Tsukiyumi gets it in for 1800. Abyss Dweller gets it in for 17. Obviously, you know, he only took 400 from the Tsukiyumi attack. Master of Oz just sets a card. Right now, Jordanator seems to be completely in control of this duel, and Master of Oz just scoops it up. He knows that he doesn't really have a way of defending himself against those guys. And, I mean, to me, that was a duel that was extremely even, and I didn't really see any huge power cards. What really tipped the duel in Jordanator's favor was the double wiretap. I mean, you talk about the bottomless, could have been a play that completely would have kept Master of Oz in the duel, and especially the, what's it called, especially the Torrential Tribute. You know what I mean? I mean, even though Master of Oz, or excuse me, Jordanator could have just chained Abyss Dweller, which means that the Ice Hand would have not got its effect. The fact of the matter is, not only was he able to keep both of his monsters, but he was still able to kill the Ice Hand too. So Master of Oz looking to change things in game 2. And I think he's going to have to not rely on his traps, knowing that his opponent probably plays 3 wiretaps. You know? So you see he has Debunk, Fire Hand, and Breakthrough Skill. He takes Fire Hand. Very good opening play for pretty much any deck. You just set it and forget it. He shuffles them back up for Duality. And he sets a monster face down. He sets another card. And then he just passes back to Jordanator. Now, Worms is a deck that likes to set a lot, too. Their monsters aren't nearly as beefy as Frogs and Yugioh, but, you know, a lot of times they're going to set cards. Master of Oz just picked the card up and passed, and Jordanator set a bunch of cards in his back row. Looks like we have Trap Tricks Myrmilio come down for Jordanator. That probably is going to net him a free bottomless trap hole. It does. Anybody else think that there's a small potential for Trap Tricks Myrmilio to get limited to 1? Okay, and then Master of Oz plays Mind Control. That's super clutch in this matchup. I mean, it's super clutch in the meta. You know that for the most part, it's nothing but level 4 monsters. He gets hit with Torrential Tribute, but you wonder if Jordanator has a... Nope, he doesn't. I was going to say, you wonder if he has a wiretap in him. So, Jordanator sets a spell or trap to end his turn. We assume that that's probably bottomless trap hole. Master of Oz just sets another monster. He has a lot of cards in his hand. Maybe those are spirit monsters, and he doesn't want to use those yet. Play goes back to Master of Oz. Well, you would think that he'd want to summon the Stratos one. and he just keeps passing He just keeps passing turn. He doesn't really seem to have any mountable offense. Master of Oz puts Firehand in attack mode. He attacks. Well, he enters battle phase anyway. He attacks Firehand. His Firehand gets blown up. If you Solemn Warn a Firehand, it's still going to activate. And once again, we saw... That's the second time I've seen a Firehand not trigger on a Solemn Warning. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we see Master of Oz try and counter pretty much with the same exact play that Jordanator did 2 turns ago. So he's playing Mind Control 2, and we already know that he has Bottomless, so you have to try and avoid that. What's he going to go into? Again, I still think Maestroke is a very legitimate card. I would think that that would probably be the Xyz of choice. Or you could just risk it off for the Exciton Knight. He goes for the Juggler, he goes for the Exciton Knight, and Jordanator says that's fine. He discards Max C, and then he's going to chain the effect. I guess he wanted to get less cards than his opponent had. It's too late to Bottomless now. It is super too late to Bottomless. You know what? That super didn't actually have enough ooper. You know, that's a One Piece joke for those of you guys who don't get it. I know there's so many people who are like, what does Capital G mean when he says super? It's a joke from One Piece. You have to watch the anime to know it. Alright, so yeah, Jordanator has more cards now. 2, 2, 2, 6, 3, 2, 5. So he missed his opportunity to Bottomless, and this is good. Obviously, he does not have Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare, or he would have been used it. He activates MST, which will not give him less cards. Okay. He's activating it on one of, I guess he's activating it on one of, oh yeah, he's targeting this card right here. If Master of Oz, yeah, you know what? Technically, he's right. Yeah, the MST is still on the field until resolution of the chain. So that doesn't actually work. And now that you've chained this, you've he says he chains to Max. And then okay, so Master of Oz says, all right, well, I'm gonna chain to the MST. Hopefully it's this face down card. He says it destroys on resolution. And okay, everything's gone. So wow, that was a huge break for Master of Oz. And now basically the game is fairly even. Was that a W Meteorite? A W Nubella Meteorite? That card is insane. So Jordanator now has too many cards to activate Exciton's effect. And you wonder if he's going to potentially try and just go aggressive or what. He summons Yashka, attempting to bounce a card back to Jordanator's hand. Jordanator's thinking about it. Maybe it's Call It a Haunted. I mean, that would be the only thing that I could think about, but it's not like he'd be able to use the effect anyway from Myrmilio. He goes straight into battle phase. Yashka attacks. Ooh, he hits Yagen. Yagen bounces, guys. So Yagen ends up bouncing Exciton Knight back to the field, or back to the hand, back to the extra deck. I'm munching. So many stupid mistakes. Wait a minute, does this guy not return? Yeah, I'm like, does this guy not return during the end phase? Alright, so Master of Oz is still +1. Jordanator, doesn't really have any monsters, and right now he could suffer from Yashka beatdown, and that looks like that's exactly what Yashka's gonna do. Yashka's just gonna keep bouncing shit, and you have to think if those are battle traps like D-Prison or Mirror Force, you're gonna have to basically set a ton of them so your opponent doesn't keep picking out that one card that you're not gonna be able to use. Now, he's not actually getting any pluses here. He's just getting in for raw damage. Master of Oz is, because he's not actually making any advantage. So Jordanator rips the Soul Charge, which again kind of it's kind of what got him into game. It kind of tipped the scales in game 1 outside of the what's it called? It's outside. Yeah, well, actually it was part of the wiretap plays. And once again, Soul Charge is countered by the Transmigration Prophet. Who sees this shit coming? So let's see if Jordanator is going to think about, and he wiretaps it. Okay, so wiretap is used on Transmigration Prophecy. That doesn't go to the graveyard, it goes to the deck. That should go to the deck. Maybe, okay, whatever. It's going to be an accepted game state at this point. So 3,000 life points are paid. Trap Tricks, okay, I guess he realized that it does go back to the deck. Trap Tricks Myrmilio tries to activate on the back row. Although Master of Oz chains Max C, that's totally legit. Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare which he could have used on Mermilia. No, wait, are you? I think she's unaffected by trap cards, by trap hole monsters. You can add one. Yeah, this card is unaffected by hole cards. Okay, yeah, so you can't use Trap Trick, Trap Hole Nightmare on her. But regardless, Master of Oz is still going to get a draw. No, wait. He couldn't max see him because with the chain the way it was, Wiretap was the last thing to happen. So he actually couldn't chain max C and get the draw from Soul Charge. Yeah, that was my mistake. Okay, so if he exceeds, he will get a draw 1. Okay, Jordanator's thinking about it. He has a long way to go because, I mean, his opponent's at 8,000 life points, and, you know, he has good monsters on board, but kind of needs to be able to do some damage here. I'm a little disappointed. I haven't seen my homeboy Worm King yet. But we have seen, I mean, we have some worm sightings. I mean, Yagan got it in when he bounced the Exoton Knight. You know, we saw Yagan and Zex game 1. Jordanator is probably thinking about what he wants to go into. I mean, he can go into the King and get out and search a copy of Yex, you know? That's a legit play. Yex is a beater, and he might be able to use him twice. I mean, hell, you can summon him in defense mode. I know his defense is not very high, though. I think it's like 1,300. He summons Giant Hand in defense mode. Master of Oz should get a card from the Max C, which he does. And Jordanator just sets a couple of cards. So technically we're playing 4 on 5, and after all of that, Master of Oz is still +1. That's incredible. Okay, so Nikitama is summoned, and then Kage is summoned in addition in defense mode. You wonder if maybe he's going to go for another attack, or maybe, you know, maybe he's going to try like a Yashka, try and bounce a card, go into an Exceed or something like that. You know, Jordanator does have that Giant Hand to negate an effect. Obviously, he's not going to negate these guys because their effects on field don't matter that much. And I think Master of Oz is probably trying to think of what Exceed benefits him the most. You know, he could try just raw attacking over the Giant Hand. I mean, pretty much any generic rank 4 will get over this guy, even without effects. You can go Ragnar Zero. You can go Utopia. You know, there's a bunch of different cards that can just get over this guy. And now that I know he plays Kage, he could actually play, he could go into King of the Pharaoh Imps. He could run this guy over, and then he could search. And that way, if his opponent rammed Ice Hand or Fire Hand, oh no, what's going on here? Well, no. Okay, I was about to say, let's go back to the duel. Recording program's acting retarded. We do see the Yashka comes down. Yashka's targeting one of the back row cards, which goes into Jordanator's hand. And okay, we see Kage and Nikitama are going to Exceed. I'm going King of the Pharaoh Imps, dude. I'm going King of the Pharaoh Imps. I'm going to run this guy over. And in main phase 2, I'm going to search another Kage, assuming that I don't have 2 in my hand. And that I guess that's also assuming that he plays, you know, more than one copy of Kage. Who would play one Kage? That'd just be dumb. That'd be asinine. So Master of Oz is probably thinking about what the best one is. He does go King of the Pharaoh Imps. Okay. And I think that you just try and attack. Okay, so he activates the effect. I don't really see why. I don't really see why. Okay, I guess he wanted to, what's it called? Let me just see something. Because when this card is sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. You must control a spirit monster. Okay, that's why he wanted to use it. He wanted to activate the effect so that he could draw a card off the Nikitama, knowing that he still had Yashka on board. So, anyways, I guess he still ended up getting a card out of that regardless, because if he wouldn't have and his opponent would have just crashed Fire Hand into him, he wouldn't have ended up drawing a card. That's pretty neat to know that Nikitama, if you have a spirit monster on board, you detach it and you get to draw a card. That is super neat. I didn't even think about that. So regardless, Giant Hand was sent to the graveyard, and Jordanator is looking at his extra deck. Now, the problem for Jordanator is probably going to be those 2 cards that Master of Oz just set. We know that he has a Yashka in hand and an unknown card that he drew off of the Nikitama. And it looks like he's going for the blind MST. Just have to cross your fingers and hope it works out. He goes for the first card. It's bottomless trap hole, which you absolutely know Master of Oz wants. He wants that bottomless because it protects him from 101 and just a whole other just ridiculous bunch of cards that obviously Jordanator can summon now. Jordanator summons Honest. You know you're desperate when you use Honest for an Exceed. You know you are desperate when you Exceed with Honest and Worms. So here's the question. Are you going to risk the Fire Hand attack on the King of the Feral Imps? Because we've already seen that Master of Oz plays Debunk. If he has Debunk, basically you lose. So do you Exceed and do you potentially risk, a Trap Tricks Chapo Nightmare or, a Solemn Warning? Or do you risk it all on the attack for Fire Hand and potentially, something like a Debunk or Dimensional Prison? I think that Dimensional Prison is making a comeback. I said that in a couple of my last videos. I don't like Mirror Force, but I do like Dimensional Prison. So Jordanator he's got a little soul searching to do here. This is one of those times where you're basically, it's kind of 50-50. If you make the wrong play and it bites you in the ass and you lose the duel because of it, I don't technically consider this a misplay. So he doesn't go for the Fire Hand attack. He goes for the rank 4 at C, and he goes for the obvious 101. Does Master of Oz have a counter? He lets him activate the effect. He does not have the counter. He ends up giving up his King of the Feral Imps. He's going to eat 2100. And I imagine Jordanator is going to set the card that Yashka kept putting back in his hand. Master of Oz decides to set a monster instead of summoning Yashka, and play goes back to Jordanator. He activates Pot of Duality for breakthrough skill, Yex, and I couldn't see what that other card was. He kind of went fast on the duality. He also put him in his graveyard, not banished. Oh, offering to the Snake Deity. He's probably going to go Yex, and he's probably going to dump Yagan in the graveyard. I mean, the chances of a Torrential Tribute are extremely low. He would have probably used it last turn. And then, I mean, obviously Jordanator could have like a Wiretap set. I mean, that card's been bounced to his hand like 3 times and he hasn't been able to respond with it. So, obviously it's not reactive to summon. So something like Wiretap would fit the bill there. Jordanator is looking at Master of Oz's graveyard. And I think he's probably trying to see how many hands he's already burnt through, because you don't want your opponent to have an ice hand and you attack into it, and that just causes all types of problems. Okay, so what are you going to do, Jordanator? Are you going to attack? Are you not going to attack? Pass turn? What are you going to do? Jordanator is still staring down his opponent's graveyard. Now he's looking at his graveyard. Can't special summon, dude, so not really sure what the thought process of looking at your graveyard is. What exactly is he going to do? He's taking forever. He puts Honor Arc in defense. He sets the Yagan, or the Zex, which I think is I think his stats are 1800 and what's it called? I think his stats are 1800, 1000 defense. Okay, it was an ice hand, and oh snap, he goes into to Heartland Draco, and that's 2k to the face. That's game. Okay, so Master of Oz cleans up game 2, and he says screw sighting. I only need like 2 seconds to do that. Jordanator will be taking first, and you know what? I think I'm gonna run this card actually. Yeah, I think I am gonna run Heartland Draco, because there's like those random times where my opponent might have Zombie World out, but they soul charge themselves into like 1,000 life points or 1,500 or something like that, and I could actually end up stealing a game like that. So I think I'm gonna add that card in. All right, so Jordanator opens. I'm gonna say he opens with Myrmilio. It'd be nice to see him open with a worm monster. I mean, I assume he probably... Okay, so he opens up with Myrmilio. I assume he probably sided out the Worm Kings. That gets him a free bottomless. He sets 1. Minimum set 4 here. Minimum set 4. Nope, set 3. Okay, play goes the Master of Oz. Sets a card. I'm going to say minimum of, oh, just 1. I think it's going to get MSC'd, yeah. We've been seeing Master of Oz has had no luck with him with his end phases. He's been getting MST'd a ton, so I just kind of thought that was going to happen. We see an XC. I think he's going Abyss Dweller. I think he's just going to crash. He activates Mermilio's effect. And it wasn't a hand card. It was actually an Eratama. And that's basically Stratos for it's Stratos for the Spirit archetype. Now it does die because of the Ice Hand giving it that 500 boost, but I mean, all in all, Master of Oz kind of came away unscathed. You see that he normal summons Nikitama. Jordanator has no response. And then he goes in for Kage to Kage. And, oh, wait a second. Jordanator might have a response. Okay, he says that that's fine. 101's the perfect counter to Bottomless. And then he goes for Yashka. Maybe you want to bait out the Bottomless to Yashka. Okay, so Yashka takes the Bottomless to the face. All you have to do is just basically attack now. Nope, he activates the effect and it's Breakthrough. Okay, Breakthrough skill, not that bad. I thought he had Trap Trick Shrapnel Nightmare. Dude, just attack. No, I'm sorry, he can't attack it. Right, he can't attack it. He has the 500 attack boost. Ah, that sucked. That sucked for him. So yeah, he ends up taking 100. Totally thought about that. Totally forgot about it. So Master of Oz tried a very good counterplay, but Jordanator just kind of had all the back row. Anyways, Master of Oz sets a monster. Jordanator set 1 too. Set that back row again. And it looks like he just can't counter. He's also not drawing any back row removal. I mean, have we seen Master of Oz use an MST like yet? I don't think so. But all his cards keep getting MST'd. So Abyss Dweller activates the effect. Master of Oz says, I got no response. It's Ice Hand, which obviously would have been big there. And Ice Hand goes down to Abyss Dweller. So after setting a monster, he passes back to Jordanator, who has a lot more cards than Master of Oz does. And you just have to wonder when Wiretap is going to start becoming the norm in a lot of these slower paced anti-meta decks. It just seems so powerful for countering the Bottomlesses, which is a searchable card, and the Trap Trick Shrapnel Nightmares, and you know, yada yada this and yada yada that. So play has seemed to slow down a little bit. It's still Jordanator's turn. Maybe instead of going into, you know, 101, well, no, 101 was the only thing that could avoid Bottomless. That was the problem. So yeah, 101 was the only one. The only other Exceed that could have avoided Bottomless was Maestroke, and quite frankly, I'm not sure that Master of Oz plays it. I don't know why, but I'm not quite sure that he plays it, because Master of Oz may have been a little better than 101 there. Obviously, he would have used Breakthrough skill on 101. I mean, on the Maestroke too, so it would have been kind of the same result. You finally see an MST come down for Master of Oz, and it's Offering of the Snake Deity. And you think, after flipping Fire Hand, that he's probably just going to attack Dweller. Try and get himself some of that advantage back. So Dweller goes down. Master of Oz sets another card. And his opponent has Fire Hand too. And man, this is pretty much the same thing that we saw from game 1. Master of Oz does not seem happy, but it's kind of a taste of his own medicine. Ooh, he debunks it. Wow. He debunks it. So at the very least, Master of Oz doesn't get blown out the water. It is still a -1 for him. Jordanator fires back with Pot of Duality. It's super cool to see that he left Worm King in. And you wonder if he's going to go for the +1 and Mermilio, or if he's going to go Kataros. The thing is, if he does summon Mermilio and go for the Trap Tricks Nightmare, he kind of is opening himself up to, you know, getting a hand job, basically. Just having all the hand cards just ram into him like one after another. Yeah, I thought he was gonna go for Kataros too, because it's a card you can set. So even if it gets ran over, it gets you another card, which gets you, I mean, your options are just a little better. You don't have to worry about your opponent flipping Ice Hand and just winning. Alright, so we see Duality come down. He sees an MST, Transmigration Prophecy. I don't see any reason to getting that. And Aratama, which is the Stratos for the deck. He's going to normal summon Aratama, knowing that it can't get bottomless. And Aratama is going to get him a free card. That's Nikitama. He's probably just going to let it go back to his hand. Nope. He goes Creature Swap. Oh, that was fucking legit. Unless his opponent has that was, I wonder what the face, and then it gets bounced to his hand. That was super legit. That was nice. That was a nice +1 that he got after getting a free search, and I thought that he was just going to pass turn. So, play is up to Jordinator. Master of Oz has kind of fought back into this duel, and he almost has it even. You know what I mean? He has it where it's 5-on-4. During his turn, it'll be 5-on-5. You just have to wonder if Jordinator has the oh-so-powerful Soul Charge with 8,000 life points. I mean, he's going to max out. He's going to go for everything. Nope, he just has a set card. I want to know what this set is. The only person who knows, the only people who know what it is are the two duelists. So, we see Nikitama come down. And Firehand comes down too. I wonder if he's going to exceed. Maybe. Okay, so he uses the extra summon for Aratama. And he's going to activate the effect of Aratama. I think I know what he's going to do. I think what he's going to do is he's going to exceed. And he's going to go for an exceed that uses an effect. That way, when this goes to the graveyard, he gets to draw one. He gets what's it called? He gets the big guy, the 2200 one. I was actually thinking about that. I was wondering if Aratama was just level 4 or lower, but it's any spirit. So that is basically Stratos. There's no restrictions on it. I think he might go Dweller too. He goes Diamond Direwolf. It gets Black Horn of Heaven, but he still should get a draw. So yeah, he gets a draw from Nikitama. And I mean, depending on what your back row is, you probably just pass. You now have 5 cards and your opponent has 4. So I mean, you've completely fought back. He's not going to do that. He's going to go for Yamato no Kami. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any back row to blow up. He's level 6. It'd be crazy if he had like another one in his hand. Now he has Ice Hand. I mean, he can go into an exceed level 4, but it's like, do you really want to give off this? Do you want to give up this Aratama? That thing has been putting in work. It's like just pluses after pluses after pluses, man. Like clearly, I'm seeing what the great card in the deck is. So Fire Hand attacks, or excuse me, Ice Hand attacks. Okay, so it was the Kerataros, which gets him Yex. Again, and even though he got that from Duality last turn, we couldn't confirm that that was the card that he said. We just assumed it was. Okay, so everybody gets it in. 14, that's 22. That should be 44 total. Well, no, actually, Ice Hand had to attack something. So during the end phase, both of the Spirit Monsters go back to hand. I think I'm now seeing how the deck works now. And Creature Swap seems really, really legit in the deck. After setting a card, Master of Oz, or play goes back to Jordinator, you have to wonder if maybe he has an MST, because Master of Oz, after pretty much like turn 1, hasn't been setting a lot of cards in the duel. I mean, for the most part, we know what a lot of his monsters are because they keep going back to his hand. Which actually means that, you know, if Jordinator plays Mind Crush, that would have been really good to play in this, to side in against him. You know, you Mind Crush him because you know what the fuck is in his hand. It just was on the field. Now he's at 5,000 life points, so I mean he can pretty much still go ham with Soul Charge. You just have to be, I mean you have to be a little more conservative, because last time or last game you ended up losing to, you know, Heart Draco and a 2K attack to the face, so you obviously wouldn't want to do that again. If you pay 3,000 life points, you're basically back in Heart Draco territory. Jordinator is thinking about his play, looking at his graveyard. And, I mean, what is he going to do here? His opponent kind of has a stream of beaters, and he has to have at least 3 more spirits in the graveyard. At least, maybe at least two more spirits. Let's just say that he can summon Kami a couple more times. You know, and he has a card that's basically getting him another card every single turn. It's only a matter of time before he searches out more Nikitamas and goes for some Exceeds. Okay, so we see Jordinator summon Yex. He's going to activate the effect. I imagine he's going to dump Yagin into the graveyard and then activate Yagin's effect. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. You can only control Yax. Unfortunately, he gets blasted by Torrential Tribute. That sucks for him. Now, Ice Hand doesn't get to use his effect, but, I mean, I think Master of Oz really just wanted an open field. Now, you wonder if Jordanator is going to be able to use something like Soul Charge, or Worms is in the deck that special summons inherently pretty much at all. So, you know, those, the hand cards, Myrmilio. Okay, so he had the Soul Charge. I thought he did because he was telegraphing the fuck out of it. I mean, he just kept looking at his graveyard like, okay. I mean, you pretty much have to have something. So, okay. The question is, how many is he going for? He goes for 1. I think he's probably just gonna go for 2. I'm gonna just be honest. After losing the way that he did last game, I think that, yeah, he goes for 2. I think he has Heart of Draco in the head. Like, I think he has that shit on the mind. He goes for an Xyz. You have to wonder what Xyz can protect itself without much back row. I don't think he has great back row. He goes for Omega, and then he goes for M7. You have to have back row with M7. Okay, yeah, he sets 1. You cannot throw M7 out there by itself. It'll get 101 too fast. And now comes Nikitama. Nikitama comes down. Holy crap, I just thought about something. If he can get a second Aryama, if he can get a second Kame from the Aryama, okay, he gets Yashka. What I was thinking is, he could basically go rank 6. He goes for Yashka instead. Now he's going rank 4. And the question is, what is he going to go for? There aren't pretty much any rank. There are no rank 4s that are going to beat over an M7. So you have to go effects. Okay, I guess before he exceeds, he wants to go for Yamato no Kami. And I guess he wants to do that essentially because if this dies, he gets the effect of, what's it called? He gets the effect of Nikitama. Yeah, he gets the draw effect. Alright, Jordanator had no response. Not to mention that Nikitama was going to give Master of Oz another card in hand. So, I mean, I think that Jordanator was forced into a play where he had the rank 4, but there wasn't really a great one. I mean, maybe you could have argued he could have went for something like more defensive, something high defense, but overall, Master of Oz just, I mean, he played the good fight. So, thank you guys for watching as always.